Hello guys. I took a break from doing the other minis I was doing for the Idic Beer Get It Painted 2018 challenge. What I'm doing right now is just this plague drone. Ideas on this plague drone and some stuff I wanted to do. He's part of the No Fear set. You can also buy this guy. You can buy this guy alone, but it came in the No Fear set. I see it, almost all of them are going the Death Guard green. I wanted to do something a little different. One of my favorite colors is orange. So I wanted to try it, you know, like an orange thing. I still got a lot to do. I started working on this Friday. I'm trying to work, you know, I'm trying to fluctuate what I'm working with. I'm still working with my Skavians for the Idic Beer Get It Painted challenge. I finally got all the bases done. All the bases are done. I put some little rocks in it, and like I said, I'm using the fish rocks to look like warp stone. And then I used different Skavian symbols on all the bases. So they're all done like that. Some of them more than others, and you know, some of the bigger bases I'm going to do. And then I seen some people, there's inside the Death Guard part or the Nurgle part, there's a figure called Epidermis or Epidemius, and he has a lot of Nurgle paraphernalia around him. I didn't know how to do that with the Skavian, so what I did is took some of the books and some of the scrolls that come inside the Skavian set. I kind of made like a worship gong. You know, here's a bunch of warp stone that the Skavians can pick up and take with them for their energy and power, or, you know, like I mentioned in the other Skavian video, that the Skavian rats used a warp stone, kind of like a drug would be to the human race. You know, we got some drugs that people do and they totally turn zombies, and then you got other drugs they do and they just turn full of energy, and, you know, you can't stop them, you can't fight them. That's kind of what the warp stone does for the Skavian rats. It's kind of and like your alcoholics, we call them liquid courage, you know. So they have their warp stone, and so every base has some warp stone on them. And then this right here, just with some extra bits, I kind of made it look like a shrine, you know, where they would go worship the rat horned god. I've added some different skulls. I added more bells, and on the bells you can see the bells have Skavian symbols in the bells, and I made like a gong, so that way they can come here and read a scripture or find a passage through the book, and then when they either give their offering to the great horned god, they can hit the bong or the gong, whatever you call it, you know, kind of like the Chinese monks do, you know, when they, you know. So I just thought I'd build up just a little terrain piece, you know. It's got a war scroll on the back and another little skull right there, you know, just trying to keep it heaped of details. And basically just to finish off another base that I had. Nothing really important. Now listen, dog. I think even the guy at Games Workshop made fun of me. How do you say it right? He just laughs at me when I say it. Is it Skaven or Skavian? Scavin? I don't know. In one of your videos, you can go ahead and call me out. I'm known to have fun on my channel, dog. If you guys ain't subscribed to Underdog, go check out Underdog's channel. He also has a Facebook page where all of us can sit there. You can show your work. You can show all your work over his site. It's meant for miniatures. It's meant for tabletop gaming. But there's a lot of stuff that Underdog covers on his Facebook page and on his YouTube page that will reflect back into your automotive hobby for you guys that follow me in the automotive side. So go over there, sub his channel. Some great work over there, and the techniques that each individual that I mention, and just like the things that I use, will relate to other aspects into the hobby, whether it be your automotive, whether it be your military, your sci-fi, and your tabletop gaming stuff. So anyway, today I was going to work on the Plague drone, and like I said, I went with an orange. I made my bones kind of a yellow. If you guys ever watch Next Level Painting, right now he's doing, in the Beats Lab, he's doing an Indian figure, and he likes his bones a little yellow. I've been really working on my bone detail. It's something that I kind of want to, do better with. I just went with like a yellowish bone on here versus my other one being a white, being like a white brown on this guy. Good afternoon, all you guys joining me. Tom, that Dodge truck you're working on is looking great. Guys, if you don't know, follow John over at Gap Hill Speed Shop. Go over there and follow his channel. The same with Tom Jackson's channel. Go over there and check those guys out. Tom is working on a resin older style Dodge pickup. It'll, relate back to the years where the Ford and the Chevy, the 58 Dodge, where the Ford and Chevys were really popular with the rounded pickups and the step side bed. So that looks like a great project. And John at Gap Hill Speed Shop has come across some rebuilders. So he's going to tackle this really neat Toyota rebuild. The doors and stuff from the kit are opened already, but yeah, it's going to be nice to see him do a rebuild on that kit. Let's see. So, I'm going to... Yeah, Underdog. My background is 35 plus years of building automotive cars. I had an uncle that built models. My father built models. Some friends in the neighborhood built models. Their dads built models, and I was always intrigued on what my dad was doing, crawling on his lap, getting up on the table. And so at about 5 years old, he gave me a model kit of Toyota snap-together pickup. I built it. I've been in love with it ever since. It's just a great thing, a passion to me. I'm not a drinker. I don't smoke cigarettes. This is my addiction. And it was just a nice break. I'm never away from home unless I'm going to a model show, work, or a hobby shop. I'm under the weather too right now, guys. We went from negative 25 one day to 60 degrees 2 days later, back down to 30 today, and man, it's kicking my butt. So what I did is I went with a satin fire orange, and then I highlighted it with some bronze. Just a tad of bronze mixed with some brass. You can see my mixture right here. And then I did some highlight, and then I went back in and did it. I like to use Stynylrez primers. It's by Badger. So on my flesh, I bought a bunch of flesh stuff from Badger. They have a great big set out now. When they don't have a sale on, they have a set of 12 2-ounce bottles, which for us miniature guys like myself, I brush paint it, and this right here is all brush paint. It brushed really good. I went with the pink, a dull pink, and then I went over it with wet wash. I used crimson. I used a crimson over it, and then well, wait a minute. First I did the pink, and then I did Agzareth Earthshade, and then I did the crimson, and then I just started highlighting it a little bit. I still got to do some of the metal work in here that holds it on. I got to do some vents and stuff, but I was trying out the guns. Here's what I left with Friday before I had to leave for work. Here's the one gun that's done, and here's the other gun. So I'm gonna work on the guns. Probably do some rust detailing in there. I'm gonna do the eyeball last. The looking eye last. I got Molotov chrome I'm gonna put over there, and then I'm gonna do a clear orange, a Tamiya clear orange lens. Gonna do some rust streaking down there. But once I highlighted it with the bronze, I kind of lost the feel of it. So I left the metal work alone and started working on the flesh. And then as everything started coming together, I really liked the way that bronze and brass puts a reflection over the top of it when it moves through the light. So I really like that. And but you know, just some small cleanup and some painting. These miniatures, guys, like I expressed in some of my other videos, they just give so much detail that I wish our model car kits would get this detailed. Tom, I have the whole set of pins, but then I also bought the liquid refill, and I put it in an eyedropper bottle, and then it works great just brush painting too, bud. And then I don't know, if I was to recommend this kit to you guys, don't base it. The way everything is built, a lot of guys are doing their propellers separate, the gun separate. I think if it wasn't based, you could still paint everything pretty well. When it's being based, it blocks a lot of stuff. I mean, I've painted a lot of stuff in there, but it is a big pain in the butt. It's a big hassle. I've been half tempted to yank it off the base, but I don't want to break my tubes. You know, they're pretty fragile. I've seen a couple game players that actually play with these. I've had these. I think they straightened out this, or they've sectioned in another kit and, you know, parted out the kit, because they're big. They're way in the air. They're probably about 2 inches taller in the air than this one is. The base really does hinder a lot of stuff. I built this one so I could play with my son and then paint it whenever I was, you know, not playing the game with him. But as of right now, he got some cool Christmas gifts that he's been playing with, and so we really haven't played the game. The only thing he's told me to do is to paint the Space Marines just like on Warhammer TV. So that's something to come. Hope you guys all had a good weekend. I hope you guys all got a chance to work on some plastic. Like I said, I followed Tom's updates. That truck is looking good. If you guys don't know Tom's background, go over there and check out his channel. He's we share a lot of the same ideas. Tom and I, we don't believe in box stock. We believe in building the creations that we can see in our head, and we don't give a shit about the criticism before or after the build is done. We build for us, and we share. We put what we have out there that we build for our pleasure and to encourage you guys. Don't be confined to a box art, a construction sheet. Do your own thing. If you feel it should be something different, try it. Even if it's a brand new kit. If you go out and buy a brand new kit and you already hear all the stories about the flaws, it's the wrong width, it's the wrong height, the transmission was different or the interior was different. Stop complaining about it. Grab some green stuff, grab some Tamiya putty, grab some Milliput, grab automotive filler like me and Tom use, and fix it and correct it. You are in a society of a model car building group. You should be able to have the talent to make what you see in your head, or you can draw on your picture on a piece of paper. Even with me not being a miniature guy or player, I let my mind run loose. I have individuality in some of my pieces. There's a lot of people complaining about stuff that's not right and not, if they're going to spend $100,000 on a tool to build us a kit and want us to pay $30 for a kit, then it should be correct. Now, I agree with that, but in the same sense, don't pick the kit apart and don't overlook the kit when you should be able to put more into the kit than just opening up and building it. You should always be able to improvise. I know factory stock builders, like Tony Franklin. He can build some stock automotive that looks like it just came off the factory assembly line. He can make it look like a real car that somebody put in the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids machine, and now it's sitting on his desk. I mean, to the tilt, the guy can build. The hinges look like real hinges, not like my hinges, So what's stopping us from being able to fix where Blinker was located? And there's so much aftermarket photo etch part that even if the emblem was in the wrong spot, we should be able to remove it, put it back in an original spot. Yeah, that Corvair truck is going to look cool too. And not only that, when Tom gets an idea in his head, Tom don't just come to the table and say, hey, I picked up this Dodge Dior kit and I'm going to put some Steve Zimmerman wheels on it. No, Tom will pick up the kit. He'll find pictures of other built stuff throughout the internets and stuff, and he gives you the real deal plus his envision, and that's what's great about a channel like Tom. And Tom will also show you a 50... let's say a 56 Lincoln, no roof on it, or the roof is there but it's all been pieced out, and next time you see it, it's a station wagon or it's a hardtop. A lot of stuff gets thrown away in our community. A bad paint job, glue in the window or something, when all your parts can be molested into something else. And that's what's great about Tom's channel. John's channel, Gap Hill Speed Shop, to watch him take the parts left over from his C1 Volkswagen Caddy build and then build that Roadster Rabbit, Alright, I have 20 minutes of me just yakking and tapping again. You guys know I'm bad about that. And again, I want to welcome Underdog to my live feed today. He has a saying. I'm already saying See, now you're going to make me think about how to say it, dog. I already say these rats wrong. And I think on his channel, he shouts out Bazaar. Is that how you say it, dog? I might not be saying it right. But he's also doing a giveaway, guys. What I have is the No Fear set here. And on Underdog's channel and Facebook page, he's giving away a set that's called the First Strike, where you'll get a few, Space Marines, you get a set of the Easy Build Pokwalkers, and then you get 6 Space Marines, and it's got a gaming board in there, a little gaming mat, a little terrain, the dice, the measurement ruler, basically like a small starter set. It's about $40 kit, $40 box, so that's a pretty good giveaway for a guy that's, doing this. All right. Trying to get the light where you guys can watch me work a little bit. I know this don't interest some of my viewers, but Jay, I see you've been posting quite a bit of work on Facebook, bud. Stay with it. You're doing good. Okay. Tom, you know what? I haven't really done it yet. But when I do, on my next interior, especially with this rabbit I'm doing, I don't know if I want to go with the gray interior. A lot of the GTIs had the gray interior. But I'm gonna do a red pattern in the center of it, even if I go black or gray. And then I'm going to wash the seat inserts. I've never washed the whole interior, and I'm going to see how all that pops. The Agress Earthshade is kind of like a dirty dust. The Null Oil is kind of like a oily thing, so I don't know if, maybe where the door panels are and the steering wheel, wash those with Null Oil, because the oils from our hands and stuff getting on the steering wheels, and then maybe do the Serapine Sepia or Agress Earthshade on the cloth parts, just to make it look dingy. But I don't know if you guys have ever seen old beat up cars like this, or old work car, how we get gunk build up on door handles, window cranks, the steering wheel, the shifter knob. I used to have a Ford Fairmont, and after work you just get in it and go, and you could see where the steering wheel was like, the plastic, the hard plastic the steering wheel was all nice, and then where my hands gripped, it was just like gum, like you could do your fingernail like this and pull the gunk off. But that's what happens, you're working in a shop, and all day long you think you're washing your hands, but you don't get them all the way clean, and you get in the car, you go to lunch, or you go home or something. Would the rabbit have a cushion? Or would they be the horsehair like the Beatles were? Well, I guess that's a 74 rabbit, 75 style rabbit. So yeah, it probably would have a foam. Yeah, see, I thought about the duct tape. But what I thought about the duct tape, Tom, is maybe having like a dropped headliner. See what I mean about the base being in the way? Now I'm trying to paint these little tanks. Yeah, I heard you Pennsylvania builder, you guys in their Pennsylvania club lost another guy this week. Had been fighting cancer for a little bit and passed away. Sorry to hear that. It's about the same time, around the same time we lost our good friend Blair Pritchard. Focus, there you go. My phone ain't being too nice today. I see Matt from the MC Garage did a couple of live feeds while he's working on his Pontiac. And James Duff, he's done a few feeds. One of the main reasons why I like to do the feeds is because I don't have a home computer. Some of you guys got some very nice webcams and stuff. Hello, John. No live feed from you till March, bud? You having internet problems again? He tried for the longest time to get to do live, and then he got it, and now it's down again. Reported you. What was you doing on live that you had got in trouble for? You would think they would be able to look through the video and see spam or not, you know. Oops. Sorry about that, guys. I was watching a guy on the way home from work. I work an hour away from home, so sometimes I turn on the cell phone and I just listen to it as I'm going down the road. The guy was talking about New Zealand and the cost that some of these New Zealand guys have to pay for these figures. There's a big set that came out on pre-order. And in New Zealand, it's like, well, in the UK, I didn't price it here in the US. But in the UK, the kit's like $320 some, $302, and then, you know, you got whatever it is in shipping, I think. In New Zealand, it's 900 New Zealand dollars. Oh, hello, John. John, you see the title I made? I'm going to try to make me a series of me painting miniature videos. And I'll do a playlist so that way people can check up. But John's been a good, long, I'm about to say lifelong. John's been a good supporter and encourage for me since I first got on YouTube. And plays a big part with the ISM guys, and he's just a great guy. So if you guys ain't subbed to Sharpie's channel, go check out Sharpie's channel. Just doing some little cleanup work real quick, guys. John, what are you working on now, bud? Huh. Or you guys get a big fat hand in the way. Just trying to clean up some of the hoses. Oh, yeah. Yeah, when Kira posted that up, and I was like, what? Yeah, it was... Yeah, it's not cheap. Yeah, well, I thought you was doing the Spitfire. If you guys are into planes and stuff, John built the massive 124 scale Airfix plane last year. Took up his whole damn desk. Couldn't even fit it all in one picture. Yeah, that's what he was saying. I've never painted a metal figure, so I don't know what the pros, the cons is. But like he said, it's one of those things that has to be for the certain player. I'm picking up stuff, I'm buying and painting stuff that interests me. Oh, yeah. Let's do some silver. And I tell you what, I was very unsatisfied. Hello, Doc. I was very unsatisfied with my Vallejo silver. To me, it's just like a pearlescent and white. I just don't care for this at all. I don't know why. It's just something that I bought because I bought the metals. You're thinking silver. Silver's used everywhere. I really didn't care for it. To me, it's just like a pearlescent and white. So I've been using this using this Rack Fang steel for my silver. Yeah, I got oily steel. I picked up the oily steel, the natural steel. I really like those. I really like the Vallejo bronze. The old gold is okay. The new gold, not so much. I don't know why the new gold. I just don't like it. I'd rather use brass and bronze mixed together, and that's what I used on this stuff here. Yeah, that was fun. I liked when I did that fuzzy spider. I know. You know, Doc, it was just sitting here, and I'm thinking, you know what? What if I paint it and then put flocking on it? And when people were saying that it looked real, I must have did something right. I thought about buying some of the. I thought about buying some of the Space Wolves, you know, and actually building them and flocking them and see what they would look like. And then they also have the like behemoths. Paint me some of those up and do some flocking on them. Guys, I don't want to say it's easy to be lazy with this, but it's easy to fix. Like if I was painting my cars and I just got that little bit of silver on the red, I mean, you'd almost have to strip down the whole thing and start over. But with this acrylic paint, you just give it a few minutes to dry and it's easy to touch up, unlike that old Testors enamel that I was used to using for so many years. I said lazy, I meant to say careless. I want to thank you guys too. A couple of you guys sent me pictures last week when I was saying that I would like to do Dart from Stranger Things. Several of you guys sent me pictures of some some of the 3D pieces. A lot of it is when they first pull him out of the trash can and he's still in the fish tank, you know, style where he still looks like a tadpole. And some of them, you know, it's very generic, so it could be really anything. Yeah, yeah, Doc, this time of year where I'm at, the temperature is always changing and fluctuates. Most of my automotive stuff is all done with real automotive paint. Um, like some of you guys will use the spray cans. I go to my paint jobber. This right here is mixed by Auto Equipment. I, it cost me a little bit to get this, but I've had it since 2009. And I like the color, mellow yellow. It's off the Volkswagen. The year was a 2002 Volkswagen. This is what was on their Beetles. So I'll go use the DuPont Chroma Base stuff. I use Real Automotive Clear. So you have to see where right here where it says mix thoroughly. Here's the yellow. If I just open the can and use it, I can skim this color off the top, this pigment, but when it's shooken up, it's actually this really light yellow. You guys have seen it on some other stuff that I have. So it gets a little bit pricier than what you guys, than what a lot of people would go buy a kit and just buy a $6, $7 can of paint. But this right here goes forever. I can mix greens into this to make different colors of greens or yellows. I can mix red to this to do different colors of reds, or the more of one that you put in the other will get you different oranges and whatnot. And so this time of year it gets really cold where I can't actually spray a whole lot outside. The thing with automotive paint is I can paint it today, do some detail work and whatnot, and maybe clear it on, say, Thursday, Friday. But if it sets too long without clear on it, once you put the clear on it, this right here has an ingredient in on it already, that it don't totally get hard, but it starts curing, and that's why you want this to cure, and then you put the clear coat over it as they cure together, and that's what gives you your strong hard finish. That's why when a car gets keyed or a rock chip, that's why you see the white and stuff underneath of it when the paint comes up. It's not so much it's the primer, it's the ingredients that the two are adhering together. So if you don't get a clear coat over this right away, they don't react well together. You'll get bubbles, and you get more chances of runs. So what I like to do is put my color on it, let it hold out for 15-20 minutes. I take it inside. I do my detail work, whether it be just my lights and blinkers, or if I have to do the metal foil work. And then the very next day, I spray it first thing in the morning, and then let it set all day. And by the evening or the next day, I can actually start wet sanding and polishing. The clear I use is called Nason. I use the Nason clear because it's cheap. These models don't see sun, they don't see salt from the road, so I don't need the yeah, Gilbert, I'm feeling like crap today myself. So I need the temperature stable. So this right here keeps me busy, keeps me building, Doc. Thanks for asking. And see, until you seal this, you could pretty much wipe off the flaws, but Yeah, later, Tom. In my clear, I do. Jay's about 7, 8 hours south of me. He's from Oklahoma area. His temperature's somewhat the same as mine. Maybe not as much winter that we get up here, because it seems like it comes to my door and stops. No, but he's a little further south. I use a mid-temp reducer. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys. Jay, here's the reducer I use. And see where they'll have different temps. You have a mid temp, you'll have a fast temp, and then you have a 3. I don't know what's the difference between a 3 minute and a fast. But usually the fast gets too hot and can distort our plastic, either with wrinkles or totally deforming the plastic. So I like to stay with the mid temp. The high temp really slows the curing time down. So this right here is the best that I can use in my area. I can paint when it's raining. I can paint when it's snowing. I just can't paint when the temperature is so cold like it is right now. It's the bloat drone, Gilbert. I went orange with it instead of the green. Here's a Space Marine. Now, right now, all he is orange with the silver dry brush. And then I'll go back and do some detailing. I just wanted to see something different. And with orange being one of my favorite colors, I thought I would do it orange. Get a better light on this dude. You know what? I bet it's my heat lamp. Oh yeah, there we go. So I'll do some detailing here in a little bit. But in my head, I've been seeing like yellow and orange armor beat up and chipped up. I don't know why. Yeah, now what I do, now my clear, Jay, my clear is supposed to be a 4-to-1. But what I do is I take a mixing cup like this, and where it will say, it actually says right here, it's supposed to be a 4-to-1, and if you can't see right there where it says 8, 6, 4, 2, what I do is I go 4 on the clear, I do 2 on the activator, which would be, oh, I just showed you the activator. Yeah, use a reducer. I don't know why I just showed you the activator. You get a mid-temp reducer too. Just go ahead and get that. I don't buy a big can. I have reducer in a small can like this, but it doesn't come with the label. So what I do is I'll do 4. Let's see if you can't see that number again. I'll do 4 of the clear. Then I do 2 of the activator. And then I do 1 of the reducer. And usually, it gives me, usually it all fits in this one little cup, and, it covers a lot. Now every clear is different. There's there's a 2-to-1. Oh crap. My desk light took a dive. And see how we've been here for about an hour now. You can just get lost in painting these miniatures. So far I have yet to airbrush a figure, but watching Gilbert and some of these other awesome figure painter guys out there do the airbrushing, shadings and stuff like that before they go in here and do their brush detail work is immaculate, because some of the transitions in colors these guys are getting, whether it be with paint or like we watched Gilbert use the inks. What was your horse that you built, Gilbert? I forgot what horse that was. But the way all the gold and stuff was transitioned is just sick. No, this is orange, Gilbert. Everybody else is going, they're all Death Guard green. And see, that's one of the things I used to tell my cousin is a big Corvette guy. And he's owned 3 or 4 vets. And I told him the thing with the Corvette is everybody that has a Corvette, they're all about the same style. You're going to have to stand out so hard versus if you bought, a Nissan Skyline or something, you know what I mean? And that's how I paint my models and miniatures. I want to be different. I don't want to look like, oh, well, there's another vet there. There's another drone there, I don't feel good. I can't breathe. Now I got the hiccups. What the hell? Well, Gilbert, I dry brushed it before I started doing the detail work. I dry brushed it with a mix of bronze and brass. So if you look at it, it looks like the orange is rubbing off and it's starting to have surface rust. But I based it with a satin fire orange. I'm still going to do some rust streaking. You know how you showed me. Gilbert did a tank, and in his tank he put oil drops everywhere, and then he took a dry brush, and then he'd blend them all together to different colors for the rust. What I'm going to use is some burnt sienna, and just come down a little bit. It'll be thinned down a lot. I don't have no oils. I'm going to take a dark burnt sienna and then maybe a little bit of flat earth and come down a little bit with it and give it some rust drippings on some of the dents. I live by a military base and there's got a lot of helicopters coming and going today. Don't know if you guys can hear that or not. What I think it's cool is when they all start getting together for their training or whatnot. The whole street is full of equipment. I think the equipment is cool. It was just, for some reason, I never got into military stuff until just a few years ago. Alright, now let's touch up some black. Alright, there should be ready to wash. Gilbert, all the flesh work I used that great old Stynylrez Doll Pink. Then I washed it, and then I washed it again with Caraboas Crimson, I think it is, just to get that pink look. If I had extra bits, I can see this now. If I had extra bits to not use these two, just use this top one, and then have like octopus arms, make it look like it was an armored octopus. You know what I mean? With seeing this part right here, if we had some squid legs coming out. I don't know if this is the same for you, Gilbert, when you go live, but sometimes you have a plan in your head. It's like, today I'm going to get this, this, and that done. And then before you know it, you're running out of time and you really didn't attack a whole lot of what you wanted to attack. Some really small tubes underneath that light stuck in that flesh. And right here are some stitches. else do we got? Alright, now we can null oil this side. I just letting that stuff dry up for a little bit. Alright, so now both guns will be done after we get this null oil on it. You know what? I'm going to paint these real quick. I'm going to do my woolly steel with this one. That way I'll just do all the null oil at once. Really, I appreciate you guys that came in today to hang out. Especially you automotive guys that don't do a lot of the figure stuff. Yeah. John, I think that's why I enjoy the live. The live is because I don't have to worry about uploading anything. And it's easier for me to interact. Since I don't have a home computer, I don't get YouTube messages. And for some reason, some of the comments, I'll get a comment notification. And then I won't be able to see the comments. Some of our subscribers and viewers, they'll get upset thinking we're ignoring them, and I plead with them that that's not the case. I try to answer everything to the best of my ability, and if not, you know, I like to suggest them to your guys' channels, guys I believe that could help them. So when doing the lives like this, I can sometimes, I don't have to worry about if I made a video too long. If, you know, there's times when I would try to upload a video and I'd start uploading it at 9 in the morning once the kids got to school, and it don't get published until the afternoon, you know. What do you think? That oily steel look good against the flesh, or should I go with a silver? Then I'll still put some null oil over the top of that. They're not completely done yet. they asked a guy. I happened to be at the Games Workshop the other day, and a guy had moved from, I think, Michigan or something like that, and he was new to the area, and he was asking about getting into this hobby. And what's cool about the guys at our Games Workshop, like I said, it's actually a Games Workshop thing. They have the place set up to where you can go in there and paint, you can go in there and build, you can go in there and play, and they help teach you and talk to you over the game and stuff. And to see other people, talk about, well, they just like to play the game, they don't care about the painting. And then you got other guys like me that are telling the new guys, like, well, I don't play the game, I just enjoy painting. you know I ain't the best camera guy, guys. My wife watched one of my videos, and she's like, no wonder where our daughter gets her mouth from. All I do is forever talk. You know what? I'm gonna do some. I just did these little vents, all no oil, all that here in a minute. I think I want to do some of these right here. I'm gonna change my brush real quick. What else would you go for if you didn't do the Bloodthirster? I mean, there's something else that's grabbing your attention, John? I mean, if I had the money to do it, I want to pick up the Great Unclean One. Because I have yet to build a big beast like you and Gilbert have, John. That's kind of why I would want to get the Flesh Eater's Court, is because of the big beast. Yeah. That great big guy from the The Tyranids, he looks cool too. I seen that Nissan that Tim is doing. That Skyline. John, I want that kit too. There's so many wants. No, I hadn't seen those. I'll have to Google that, John. Here it is. I thought I was done. I'm going to put in some. I'm going to do the oily steel. See, I did the oily steel on the cap. I'm going to do the oily steel on these spikes too. And then we'll not oil all of that. Man, just the sound of that game sounds expensive, John. I watched Richard from the Nerd Life, one of my favorite channels, and just a great guy. It's been a great friend to me over here. Um, he's got a Forged World Titan, and thing's about a foot tall, foot and a half tall, and that thing is just beast. He might be 2 foot tall. But the details and stuff that Richard are putting into that one, then it's all magnetized, so it has all the equipment that Forge World offers. And that was a pretty big investment. Well, I wasn't going to say how much it cost in case his wife was watching. I didn't want to get him in trouble, Gilbert. But yeah, they weren't cheap. Oop. Oh. No, Richard saved up. I think he told me he saved up for about a year for that. Um, all his, Christmas money or whatnot. When the family gives him gift cards or whatnot, and he got to pick that up for himself. If you guys don't know Richard, he battles a disease in his legs, so he's not able to get out there and work. His wife carries a lot of the household weight. But Richard is trying to start his own miniature business. It's the Nerd Life. You guys can go over there and check out. He has some supplies. He has the Walking Dead game and some figure expansions that he offers from his website. And then there's some terrain stuff and, building supplies. It's just getting started. So, he can get a little bit of stock going in, and he's trying to keep it updated. He makes hats, t-shirts, and I believe Lady K is still selling lipsticks. I think she was doing lipsticks or a home diet thing. I forgot what it was, but she has her own channel too. You guys can go check that out. But very loving family. Richard does a great Q&A on Mondays. He has just yesterday was posted up, was a pretty good one again. You guys can ask him questions or leave him comments. And it could be generic questions. It could be hobby-related questions. Richard tries to do them all. But very good kid. Has a struggle ahead of him. Has a beautiful family, though, that is supporting him. And we try to support him on the hobby side of it. We can't do much from our bench to help him, but we can support what he's trying to do for his family. So you can contact them with your hobby wants or needs. He does do some commission. I don't know if he commission paints, but he really enjoys doing the commission builds where some of the people that buy the stuff from Forged World and whatnot aren't experienced with resin, magnetizing and stuff like that, and Richard does a great job of magnetizing. Like we were saying, the Great M Clean One is a kit that I would love to build. Within that kit, you get 3 different heads, you get 3 different hand weapon. You get 2 or 3 different hand weapons per hand. The arms are basically fixed. The legs are basically fixed. But he has a mouth and the stomach that can be changed. And Richard is great about, if you're going to spend $140 for a kit, you should be able to use that kit instead of just building it and having all the leftover pieces. And Richard is great about magnetizing it. And he magnetizes it in a way that is hidden and feasible. So that way, say you want to go into battle with the Plague Sword and the Bales, you can use those 2, and then say your next battle, you don't want to use the Plague Sword, you want to use the axe, so he'll have it magnetized away. You're not always using the same model when you go to a tournament or something. And like Gilbert was saying, that big Titan is almost, $2,000. So if you bought it, there's so many add-ons you can put onto it. Richard has the ability to make everything that comes with that kit feasible with one another. And great craftsmanship. You can't even see where the magnets are. He'll pin them, so that way, you're talking 3 pounds, 4 pounds of resin just for a weapon and a hand, because it is such a large resin piece. And he adds the supports and stuff like that in it. And say you have a conversion idea, Richard has the not technology, but the knowledge and know-how to get what to get what you want to come forth. The guy's covered in talent and tattoos, but the talent overweighs. If you guys can't tell, I really like Richard. I'm just adding some highlight through here. But guys, Frilly is a good dude. Got a great channel. He got his family a new puppy. That puppy's giving him hell yesterday on this live show. I mean, not his live show, but his Q&A. I say he's a puppy, but he's a big puppy. There was a meme. There was a meme on the Facebook a couple of weeks ago when it says what the kid I paid for and then what I told her I paid for it. You know. Another thing I've learned since doing miniatures, you never really paid attention to it. I never paid attention to it building cars, but you know, these painters are talking about we'll go back in and add highlights and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, what the hell are highlights, you know? And it really does make a difference when you start highlighting stuff. Speaking of which, I want to dry brush some stuff real quick. Just dry brushing some of these vents, guys, to make it look like it's not all rust and have some exhaust coming through. Yeah, Spiky Bits, matters of fact, speaking of rust, Spiky Bits did some a burnt how-to on, say, you know, your weaponry, like your muzzles and whatnot. See, just doing a quick dry brush across those blades. Later, John. Thanks for coming in, bud. Alright. Well, I think I'll do some no oil wash and let that dry. And that'll be done. Then the wash takes a little bit to dry, guys. So what I'll do is I'll put some no oil on the gun and some of the metal work I done today, and then next time we come back, if I don't work on it by myself, we'll do some of the other stuff. I do appreciate you guys hanging out this long with me today. Some of you guys are into the figures, so it interests you, and other guys, I realize, they don't interest as much. But we want this to look oily and dirty. We added the color to give it a contrast, but now we put this no oil on it, and it gives it a dirty, oily look. I know some of you guys have taken part in the raffles I do. I want to do some more. Inside my head, I want to do it, you know, for the community. There's things out there that I want to build. You know, I've been approached about doing the YouTube channel where I earn the money, and then talk to a few people that do the Patreon. For me, I don't think I offer enough to anybody to have a channel where you should be getting paid. There's some other great channels out there that would be worth a subscription. Mine ain't one of them. I'm just a jackhole that enjoys sharing what he does. But when we do the raffles, I like doing the raffles because it generates money for me. It generates money that I could spend on my hobby whatnot, and plus I get to offer you guys stuff as, you know, little gifts, prizes within the thing. I just got to find out a way to do it. I don't have a way to do a PayPal. Me and my wife had a PayPal. We sold some stuff, and then the people was like, we didn't sell them the product that they thought they were buying, you know, and all this hoopla. And without proof, PayPal took our money back and gave it to them. So my wife cut all the PayPal stuff off. We lost quite a bit. This one person bought quite a bit. My wife was selling Yankee candles, and it was a bad experience for us. So she would rather not go through all that again, and I respect her wishes on that. But right now, Pete was helping me out over there at scaledworld.net, and we're going to have to find a way we can do it in that way. And I like this wash, guys. You can just add it right where you want it to, or you can base the whole thing. You know, it's really up to you and the selectiveness that you have where you want this wash to go. So we'll let it dry up, let it pull up. Then, like I said, with the highlights, I'll probably be contacting Gilbert later on this week. I'll take pictures once everything dries and get a second eye on here to see where some of the highlights need to go. But for the most part, I think I got her finished, guys. It's a bit different if you Google images, the bloated float drone. You'll see a lot of them are green. Some of them are a whitish color, but that's because there's a different level of Death Guard. So some of their uniforms were on the lighter whitish gray color, but most of it is green. I just want to do orange a little different. With these little pieces of flesh popping through here, I might do, I might go in there with some blood for the blood god, just to make it look a little bit, because this right here is going to be more exposed, more dried out. So just go through there and see. Guys, my friend Bill, right there from Bobblehead Scale Custom, he bought a project from Frank Spikes. Frank Spikes is an older gentleman, builds a lot of race car stuff, and you want to talk about detail. The guy is a great builder. For Bill to be able to get a project off Frank is exciting news to some of us car builders, because in our car hobby, Frank he does some amazing scratch building stuff. Oh yeah, I forgot he did. Yeah, he was just a great builder. Jay, I'm still working on this. It's what I'm working on right now. It's my Rust Bucket Rabbit, and it'll be setting on these. And I made a VR6 motor for it, with the turbo, so that will fit in there. Underneath the hood was going to be all nice and clean, red painted. and it'll be all nice and painted red underneath. I lost the wheel. Well, it's going to have 3 wheels. I'll clean up here in a little bit and find it. I don't know about you guys, but I can't never work on a project and the place stayed clean. Always something. Bill, if I remember right, unless I'm thinking of the wrong guy, he built the 1/16 55 Chevy dirt track car, the little Nova dirt track car. Wasn't that Frank? Yeah. No, I didn't know he passed away. Yeah. Yeah, Jay, he had the little Nova. He had the little Nova with the straight 6. And it used to win everything. Best motor, best Chevrolet. It was a little it was a little, I think 65, 62 or 65 Nova. And then he had the 69 Nova all done that used to win a crap ton of stuff. And then the big 55, they're just amazing stuff. Remember the little white Vega he did? And I don't build race car guys. This guy here that we're talking about built track cars like, oh man, they were beauty. Yeah. Yeah. Guy Bill's, where Bill's from, he's about 4 hours east of me, in around the St. Louis area. He hangs out with a young kid, Andrew, and you wouldn't believe this kid was 15 years old, building some of the stuff that Andrew builds. Just an awesome kid. And Bill has encouraged him to start coming to our shows and, making the drive. And the kid is just awesome. He's got some great talent down there in St. Louis. He's got Bill. He's got Wes Salazar. There's some great people in his circle. And the kid is already so good. He's going to be one of the best of the best soon. I mean, he's already winning best motor and stuff in adult classes when he goes to the shows. What I'm doing now, guys, is I'm trying to add some highlights back in to the pink. I could probably dry brush this, but it's in so many little stuff. I didn't get too much automotive done this year, guys. I hope you guys have been working your tail off. You think the Slammer guys would throw a fit if I bring this? I'll put it in miscellaneous. It is a vehicle. Yes, bring it, Bill, or yes, they'll get pissed. Yeah, the year I took my blue and silver P-51, they try to say something like, well, this is an automotive, this ain't an aircraft show. And I'm like, well, it matches my Mustang, it's in miscellaneous. And then they had a discussion, and since I put it in miscellaneous, that's one reason why, if you guys look at the rule change, when they say military vehicles, it can be no tracks. It has to be like a car. Well, guys, that was my timer. I'm going to finish up these last two little highlights. I want to thank you guys for coming in today and following me for a little bit. I really appreciate the support. And like I say, even if you guys ain't interested in doing this yourself, check out some channels, man. There's so much inspiration out here on YouTube. You can build some great friendships just by checking out someone's channel. And heck, who even knows, one day you might be walking through a swap meet and somebody has something, sitting on the table. You just, you know what, I think I'll try that. And you never know, you might really enjoy it. Gilbert, I'm just playing around with some of the highlights. We'll see what this looks like when it dries. Yeah, Eric. Like I said, with Eric, guys, Eric he used to build. He's just getting back into the hobby. If you see him posted on your guys' channels and your videos, or you see him on Facebook asking questions, please take the time, share your experience and knowledge on, and make some suggestions. Try to keep these new guys energized about the hobby. When one of us was used to be in the hobby, we leave for whatever reasons. Most of the times it's family, work, what have you. And then they come back to the hobby. I mean, the price change is outrageous now from what it was when, 70s and the 80s. And so keep them encouraged, because, a lot of the stuff that you hear right now, it's like, well, it was hard to get back into the hobby because of the cost, and, you know, just failure to get answers for questions when they're trying something, you know, because it's, say, you know, a new product out or something. And so it'd be great if we guys can keep these new guys like Eric and encouraged and informed on some things. I just added some highlights back in there, Gilbert. Checked all that out. Alright, guys, I better, thanks, Gilbert. Alright, guys, that's about it for us. Hope you guys have a great day. I'm going to try to do some more stuff this week. I've been trying to think of a way how I can be more active on my channel for 2018. So like I said, like today we did the, you know, we'll paint the miniatures. I'll keep a title of that so that way we can, you can watch the videos you want and the ones you don't want to. Like we'll have like today painting on miniatures. I dated it. The next one we'll date too, and I'll build a playlist here in a little bit. And I'm trying to think of like Tuesday do miniatures, Wednesday do an automotive, Thursday I'll try to get back to the tech tips, or you know, maybe we'll use Thursdays for my Get It Painted challenge for Idic Beer until those builds are all done. You know, we'll have to look it over. But for the most part, I want to thank you guys for joining me. We was able to finish this gun here. We'll let the null oil dry up, and then we can go back and then touch it up. We did the fans, the spikes. We still got to do the eyeball, and I got to do some highlighting on the pink. So I appreciate you guys. Another good long 2 hours. But you guys have a great day. This is Minnie, and I'm out. Doc, you're welcome, bud. I'm looking for it right now. I don't even know where it is right now, so you're lucky. But I can't say it won't be in the next video. Later, Doc. Later, Gilbert, and all the rest of you guys that joined me today. Again, thanks for all your support. This is Minnie, and I'll talk to you guys next time.